Hello, everyone. So this afternoon, we're going to talk about a problem we often see within organizations that are looking to implement a customer-related solution. And it's largely as to where the customer data should be best stored so that all the consumers of it can get to the information they need without having to do very complicated code and call all over the place. So to start, let's look at customer information and why an organization needs it. On one hand, there's digital marketing, and they want to know who the customer is, the kinds of things this customer is interested in, what opportunities there are for targeting services to the customer. On the other side, you've got the security team that wants to recognize this customer when they come back, authenticate them, and then authorize them to access maybe any protected resources that are made available to them. And finally, the third piece of the puzzle is all the regulations, the standards. For example, the California Consumer Protection Act, or GDPR in EU, which protect the data of the customer. All of this has to be taken into account. So let's talk a little bit about each of them. Let's talk about Customer Identity and Access Management, or CIAM. This is the solution that manages the registration of customers. So new customers come in, they register with your organization, and they may decide to use social login, they may decide to use some other form of federated recognition. It doesn't matter, but there is some information about the customer that they're going to provide you so that your system can then recognize them when they return. They might choose to give you a password or some sort of credential. And if you decide that that's what you need to do, then the solution must take care of storing that password. Then, like I said, there are the functions around authentication, authorization, single sign-on if there's a portal involved, and what device they come from, the whole concept of device management. So all of this makes up your CIAM solution. Then on the other side, you have the marketing piece, which is the customer relationship management. And here is where the organization is interested in understanding the profile of the customer, what kinds of services they're interested in, what products they've purchased, and all this so that maybe they can be contacted if something new comes up, or even if there's an outreach program in, outreach campaign, something which matches their demographic. So the CRM solution is looking at the profile of the customer, and the CIAM solution is looking at authenticating the customer. Here's the customer, same person. Their data is being used for different purposes within the organization. The question now is, where is this data stored and how is it used, right? And how do you prevent inconsistencies if you have multiple systems maintaining the data for the same customer? We're going to really focus on what are some tips we provide our clients when we work with them on this. The first one is limit the data to what each system requires. So if your CIAM system needs the user's name, a phone number for MFA purposes, and a password, then that's all you store in the CIAM system. The CRM system, on the other hand, might need their mailing address, multiple phone numbers, whatever it is to contact them, right? So each system really has different requirements, and they should be allowed to access the data they need appropriately. Now, ideally, what you would like is a single repository of all your customer data so that each system can then query what they need when they need it. But that ship has sailed. I mean, most organizations have a CRM solution, maybe Salesforce. They have a CIAM solution that's different. So now they have repositories with the same customer's information. If that is the case, it's important to ensure that there's synchronization between these systems. Because if there's shared data, you want it to be uniform, consistent, and valid. So if the customer changes their email address on one system, you don't want the other system still harboring the old email address. Doesn't make for a good customer experience, doesn't make for a good security experience. And then there's another way of doing it, which is put an abstraction layer between the different systems so that if you have downstream applications that need to query this information, this abstraction layer can actually collate the data from multiple systems and give the caller the required information as required, right? And finally, whatever you do, you need to know where you've stored customer data, because at the end of the day, if the customer says, I want to opt out, then you've got to absolutely have a mechanism to remove their data, because that's what GDPR, CCPA, all of these mandate. The customer has the option to opt out, and at which point they must be confident that their data has been removed everywhere. So these were some things I just wanted to share with you. And if you have any questions or would like to know more, please contact us at sales@pontusresearch.com. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.